Ah, the miracle of life. Or as in this case, the miracle of life immediately trying to kill you. Meet the newborn sea turtle, nature's smallest, most confused underdog. It's barely entered the world, and already the odds of survival are, generously speaking, abysmal. First off, let's talk about the birthplace. No comfy hospital beds or doting midwives here. This little turtle is born in what's essentially a sandy graveyard, the beach, a scenic death trap with all the charm of an oven set to broil during the day and a hunting ground by night. Lovely. And let's not forget the labor of hatching. These poor creatures spend days scratching and clawing their way out of the nest, a buried sand pit courtesy of their mother, who, let's be honest, had no plans to stick around and help. Nope, Mom laid her eggs, gave a casual wave, and swam off into the ocean faster than you can say abandonment issues. Finally, after what feels like an eternity of sand-related misery, a tiny head pokes through. Success? Hardly. Now comes the real challenge, getting to the ocean without dying. See, this short, wobbly trek to the waterline is actually a gauntlet of doom. First up, the predators. Crabs, seagulls, and any other opportunistic freeloaders looking for a midnight snack are on high alert. To them, these hatchlings are basically bite-sized beach burgers with flippers. And let's be honest, there's not much the hatchling can do about it. Run? With what legs? Fight with what weapons? It's more of a hope they miss strategy. Oh, and the moonlight, that beautiful natural guide meant to lead these turtles to safety? Sometimes they get confused and head towards city lights instead. Congratulations, you've just crawled into the road. Smart move. But let's say by some miracle you make it to the ocean. Surely things get easier, right? Wrong. The ocean isn't a safe haven. It's just a bigger arena of doom. Your reward for surviving the beach? Being immediately slapped in the face by a wave, rolled around like a tumbleweed, and left to figure out which direction is up. And don't even get me started on the predators waiting in the water. If it's not a fish, it's a bird. If it's not a bird, it's a bigger fish. Survival tip: try not to taste delicious. So there you have it, the first few minutes of a sea turtle's life, a brutal, chaotic, and downright ridiculous fight for survival. If this is what day one looks like, you've got to wonder what horrors await in the deep blue. Spoiler alert, it doesn't get much better. Stay tuned for the next chapter in Why It Sucks to Be Born as a Sea Turtle, where we dive into ocean currents, plastic pollution, and why being cute doesn't stop you from being eaten. Spoiler, life's still unfair. Surviving the crawl to the ocean was just the tutorial level. And guess what? You barely passed. Now that you've made it into the big blue world, welcome to survival mode, where everything either wants to eat you, drown you, or make you question your life choices. As a young sea turtle, you're basically a tiny swimming buffet for the ocean's top predators. Sharks, barracudas, and even seabirds are out there thinking, bite-sized snacks on the move. And speaking of predators, let's talk about your defense mechanisms, or lack thereof. Your shell is still soft, so instead of being a fortress, it's more like wrapping paper. Combine that with your slow swimming speed, and you're basically nature's version of takeout. Good luck outrunning a shark when your top speed is mildly panicked doggy paddle. But let's not forget the ultimate challenge, finding food. Your diet? Pretty straightforward. Jellyfish, seaweed, algae, and unfortunately, floating trash. Your instincts are supposed to help you, but honestly, they're kind of a joke. You see a plastic bag and think, delicious jellyfish. Spoiler alert, it's not. It's just a chewy disappointment. Oh, and food isn't just scarce, it's alive and fighting back. Jellyfish sting, algae tastes like sadness, and crabs, let's just say they don't go down without a fight. Every meal feels like you're on an episode of a cooking show where the ingredients are trying to kill you. As if that wasn't enough, there's the issue of growing up. Your shell is getting bigger, which sounds great, except now you're bumping into everything. Tight coral reefs? Forget it. You're basically a clumsy toddler with a backpack you can't take off. Social life? Non-existent. You're programmed to be a loner, so don't expect any turtle tea parties. The closest you'll get to interaction is accidentally bumping into another turtle, exchanging awkward eye contact, and then swimming off in opposite directions. Relationships? Overrated, apparently. And yet, somehow, you persevere. You dodge predators, figure out what's food and what's not, and even manage to grow. Sure, it's mostly luck, but hey, you're still here. for now. After years of dodging death at every turn, you've officially leveled up to adulthood. Congrats, you're bigger, stronger, and your shell is finally hard enough to be useful. But don't get too cocky. This is the ocean, and you're still on the menu. The predators? They've upgraded too. Sharks, killer whales, and humans with fishing nets are now your main threats. It's like you've gone from fighting minions to battling the final boss. But adulthood isn't just about survival. It's also about reproduction. Yep, it's time for the Great Migration. You're biologically wired to swim thousands of miles back to the beach where you hatched, which sounds poetic until you realize how exhausting it is. Your only map? Magnetic fields. No GPS, no road signs, just blind faith and an inexplicable urge to go back to the place that almost killed you as a baby. Once you reach the beach, the real work begins. First, you drag your 100-pound self onto the sand, gracefully, of course. Then you dig a hole, and dig some more. It's a process so slow, it makes watching paint dry look exciting. Finally, you lay your eggs, cover them up, and leave. That's it. No parenting, no goodbyes, just good luck, kids, don't die. And after all that, you swim back into the ocean and carry on with your life. Except now, you're dodging fishing nets, plastic pollution, and predators that are just as determined as ever to make you dinner. The cycle of life is relentless, and it doesn't get easier. But hey, at least you've made it this far, right? So that's the life of a sea turtle. A non-stop survival marathon with no finish line. Beautiful? Sure. Brutal? Absolutely. But hey, at least you look cool doing it.